Hello everyone, Benro776 here with the Halloween special heroes, I guess. Now we are expecting Timerra, and some other characters, I guess. There she is, in fact, there she is, the first unit on the banner. Oh, very fun outfit, Lance Infantry. Whole lot of ghosts and stuff, and well, it's looking to me like a two-pager, but let's start with the weapon. She's wielding the Inspirited Spear. Sorry, it's special trigger, cooldown count -1. Start of turn, if any foes within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit. That's an or, so it's a big cross shape. Grants speed defense +6 to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn. At start of enemy phase, for foes within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, inflict guard on foe, and also if foe's attack can trigger foe's special. Foe's special cooldown count is less than or equal to 1, and foe's defense is less than unit's defense. Inflicts special cooldown count +1 on foe. Cannot exceeds foe's maximum special cooldown. Okay, so she applies guard and she decharges specials as well. That's a little scary. That's a big hit to like AoE teams, pre-charge special teams, just in general, really. And the start of combat if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants +5 to all stats, and inflicts -X to attack speed and defense on foe during combat, where X is equal to 15% of unit's defense at start of combat, deals damage equal to 40% of unit's defense when special triggers, excluding area effect specials, and restores 7 hit points to unit after combat. Okay, so quite a lot going on here. We've got, to begin with, cool cross-shaped buffs and debuffs being applied. A little bit of protection against instant specials, or even semi-instant specials, because it doesn't just trigger if foe's special cooldown count is full. Even if it's on 1, they get brought back down to 2, potentially. So it's not just fully pre-charged specials, it's people who are pre-charging specials to go off on the second hit are also at risk here. And then the second thing to note is the big stat swing, because 15% of unit's defense, well, we can quite easily hit, I don't know, 40 defense? So that's 15%. 10% would be 4, 15% would be 6. -6 attack, -6 speed, -6 defense, which combined with the Spectrum +5, that's doing some serious work. And 40 is like a small number for defense. If you can go up to 50, if you can go up to 60, then if you go up to 60, that's -9 to all foe stats, for instance. Well, except res, but you're not using res. Serious stat reduction. Stat reduction is one of the best things you can have. 40% of unit's defense when special triggers is huge. You're effectively getting a free bonfire glued onto whatever special you're using. 7 hit points to unit after combat, great sustain. Special is Vital Astra. Makes sense to give her a damaging special as opposed to godlike reflexes because of that defense-based extra damage on special. So that's 30% speed-based damage reduction. It is considered non-special damage reduction, so it can be pierced by Deadeye, by Lethality, by Spiral 4, unlike godlike reflexes, so keep that in mind, but still pretty chunky protectiveness there. In the A slot we have bonus doubler 4. Big day for bonus doubler fans. It's finally a kind of worthwhile A slot, possibly. I haven't actually read it yet. If bonus is active on a unit or an ally within 2 spaces of unit, grants plus X to all stats to unit during combat, where X equal to 4 plus the highest bonus on each stat between unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit calculates each stat bonus independently. Okay, so the very big news here is that bonus doubler is no longer a skill that gets shut down by just negating your bonuses, because there are a lot of units out there that can negate foes' bonuses, and against those units, bonus doubler was a completely pointless A slot. That is no longer the case. It now still works so long as you've got an ally within 2 spaces who has buffs. The second thing is, it's better by 4 stats. So in the best case scenario, which is hopefully most cases, bonus doubler 4 is giving you plus 10 to all stats. I mean, there are actually better case scenarios because things like Hafe exist, but the usual scenario, the scenario that's easy to get, is a Spectrum plus 6, and adding 4 to that, Spectrum plus 10 you're getting from bonus double on top of the buffs you already have. That's very nice. This could actually be a genuinely useful skill. Doesn't have any extra bonus effects, but if you just want pure stats from your A slot, this is now competing with other actually good A slots on a raw stats perspective. Let's see if there's a second page, because I'm pretty sure there is. Yep, of course there is. The skills we were missing out on. Spurn 4, of course, going to give you even more special damage, going to give you even more damage reduction, and going to give you plus 7 speed for speed comparisons. Oh, and speed defense minus 4 on foe during combat, as well as if it wasn't good enough already. This is still a really, really good B slot. And in the C slot, times pulse 4, so you can get that special going way easier. All in all, I'd say Timerra is a very strong looking God Lance, and it's nice to have a God Lance for once instead of a God Sword, because, you know, they mix it up a little, guys. It's been all God Swords for the past few months, you know. We're still kind of light on God Axes, but hey, a few more God Lances, good to have. And yeah, she's a very strong unit. She does have pierceable damage reduction. It's all considered non-special, so she is at a little bit of a risk from big specials still. But with the fact that she's applying guard, with the fact that she's decharging pre-charged specials, a lot of the time she's going to have a lot better protection against those specials than your average God unit would have. And then on top of that, she also is probably reducing foe stats by quite a considerable amount as well. So depending on what the special is, there's a decent-ish chance that she might be able to just flat survive it. Very interesting to think about. All in all, very solid indeed. Let's see some animations.
So gonna love this.
Oh, I love this already. I mean, animation's pretty normal, but it's just good to have her around, you know. Is that Flayn? Silly kitty cat. This is, I think, the first unit in Heroes
I have become a cat.
to be categorically meow. To be categorically silly. Flayn looks like a staff cav here, so not changing her weapon type, but is changing her movement type. What does it do? The kitty cat parasol calculates damage from staff like other weapons, accelerates special trigger, cooldown count -1, max cooldown count value cannot be reduced below 1 because of course staffs have some special options that are already 1 cooldown. For allies within 2 spaces of unit, grants special cooldown charge +1 to ally per attack, neutralizes their foe's bonuses to attack, and reduces damage from attacks by 30% during their combat. So they've power crept Flayn, which would be a bigger deal if they hadn't already done it in the form of Elamine. who was also a power-crept Flayn. But no, here's power-crept Flayn, who is Flayn, and those are some mighty supportive effects there. But there's more. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 space of an ally, grants attack res plus 6 to unit during combat, and unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. Okay, so yeah, 30% damage reduction, negates foes' bonuses to attack, and probably the most important thing, special acceleration. Very strong supportive effect. Basically, all the support you want from defensive support going on right here. I mean, maybe you like, I don't know, guard as well. Maybe you like... There's a lot of things you could have, but this is 3 separate effects, all of which are really strong supportively on their own. And you're stapling them all together to 1 unit, so Flayn is just strong, frankly. In her assist slot, we've got Rescue. Gotta love Rescue. It's a reposition and it's a heal. Not a reposition. It's a drawback and it's a heal. I always forget which one's which, but whatever one it is, it's really nice to be able to have movement assists that also fill your unit's hit points back up. For special, we've got Holy Pressure, which is kind of Luna-ish special. It's a good special. What can I tell you? It is a good special. We've got Attack Res Unity, which is an interesting one because her special triggers off of foes res, so I'm not entirely sure what Flayn is exactly doing with her res stat, but you know, as a staff unit who can run a dazzle skill, normally you wouldn't care about defensive stats at all. You go all in on attack and speed, but no, this looks like a very attack and res built unit by base kit. In the B slot we have Dazzle Far Trace, enables Canto for remaining distance, and inflicts speed -4 on foe, and foe cannot counterattack. That's a new skill, by the way. I'm interested to see which units will be able to run this. Is it going to be all staffs, or is it going to be limited by movement type? Because that is a pretty solid inheritable for staff units on teams where they've already got the kind of warping support that the previous Dazzle Star Uff 4 skill provided. Give them Canto options instead so that they can free up the spot to attack from. And is there anything more, or is that all of it? No second page. Just a very strong supporting staff with incredible voice lines. Pretty much fills the same role as Flayn always has. Oh, hello! So yeah, it is mostly an engage banner then. We also have Seadall here. He is presumably going to be our 4-star, a red tome infantry mage. His weapon is the Pumpkin Stem Plus. At the start of turn, if units within 2 space of an ally, grants attack res plus 6 to unit. Now is within 2 space of unit for 1 turn. And if you initiates combat as within 2 space of an ally, grants plus X to unit during combat, where X is equal to 4, plus highest bonus on each stat between unit and allies within 2 space of a unit. Calculates each bonus independently. So, this is bonus double of 4 on an inheritable weapon. That's nice. I like that. That's good. I like that. Definitely, they've been giving us some stronger inheritables recently just to cope with the fact that arcane weapons exist, and why would you ever run a weapon that's not an arcane weapon unless you've literally ran out of fodder entirely? Well, this one's bonus double of 4, strapped to a stick, which isn't actually a stick, although it might be a stick because it is a stem. Think about it. But we were just discussing how good bonus double of 4 can be as an A slot. Well, now all your red tomes can theoretically run bonus double of 8 if they really want to. Cute, isn't it? On top of that, he is a dancer, my friends. That immediately adds a lot of value to this unit because dancers are always, at the very least, like net neutral in terms of adding them to your team. Even if your dancer can't really do anything themselves, they're still going to be useful because they can dance a unit that's better than them. Right? Think about it. That's always great. Attack res finish 3 is some real quality A-slot potential right there for a 4-star unit. You're probably going to be inheriting this a lot because finish skills are so good, and being able to pick one up and maybe pick up other fodder from the same unit, always worth considering. Yeah, finish 4 still one of the best A-slots out there, just for the extra healing and the extra damage on top of giving you very good stats. And in the C slot, infantry null follow-up 3, which I mean in practice tends to be just a worse C slot than what's it called, the speed tactic version of the skill that does basically the same thing. But I have found out in my own testing that this is very good support for Citrine specifically. Because if you give Citrine null follow-up, then Citrine, of course, will give your whole team null follow-up. So, not completely useless. Very strong 4-star. It's a unit I like to see. He's got a very nice hat. And all of these inheritables are useful. So that's a change from some of the 4-stars we've had recently. Very happy indeed. Let's see, that pumpkin stem looks kind of like a whole pumpkin to me. And then lastly, our duo Harmonic, twice Fianna. Indeed. I've been asking them to do this for ages. And, well, would you look at that? 2 Annas. Two Annas, an Axe Flyer, and did you look at that? Flying on a Pegasus, flying on a Wyvern, flying by just hovering, all outdated. This flying Anna is flying on a frickin' broomstick because of course she is, it's Halloween. I also really like, did you notice that? Did you notice what Vienna's Halloween costume is? That's right, they're dressed up for Halloween as each other. They've swapped outfits. Beautiful. But this pair of Annas is an Axe unit armed with the Payday Pouch. Makes sense, they are Annas after all. Grants speed +3. If number of bonus effects active on unit, excluding stat bonuses, is greater than or equal to 3, enables Canto 2. At start of turn, grants the following effects to unit based on the number of allies within 2 spaces of unit. If greater than or equal to 1, grants null follow-up. If greater than or equal to 2, grants Hexblade. Okay, so that's 2 of the 3 bonus effects you need already, right there, just by being near 2 allies at the start of turn. If you initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed defense res +5 to unit and grants attack speed +X to unit, where X is equal to 25% of foe's attack at start of combat, -8, min 0, max 10. During combat, and also if number of bonus effects active on unit, excluding stat bonuses, is greater than or equal to 3, reduces the percentage of foe's non-special reduced damage by X% skills by 50% during combat. Example, a foe with a reduced damage by 45% skill would reduce damage by 23% instead. It's a very aggressive weapon here. It's going all in on attack and speed. It's shredding foes' damage reduction by half, and you've got NFU and Hexblade and Canto 2. You don't have any defensive effects. Now, the defensive effects we'll get to later, but I'm interested to see how they've built this unit. The special is Miracle, which is not what I expect to see in this day and age, but it is what it is, I suppose. In the A slot, we have attack speed Prime 4. If bonus is active on unit, you get attack and speed. Obviously, we've seen this before. It was on Wind Tribe Claude. Again, the Prime skills looking for free bonuses for... Is it free bonuses for max stats? Hang on. Yeah, free bonuses for max stats. And if you can go up to 4 bonuses, you can get distant counter in this case, or close counter if you're a ranged unit, but this is a melee unit, so it's distant counter. In the B slot, we've got Gambit 4, which is also a skill we've seen before. This was on Brave Robin, if you remember. But it's dealing damage based on your special cooldown count value, which this Anna, interestingly, does not have Slaying, and they've chosen to give her a 5 cooldown special in Miracle, so maybe they intend this to be her defensive option. And yeah, it gives you extra damage based on your special cooldown count value, and it gives you damage reduction based on your special cooldown count value. So she is getting 50% damage reduction from running that Miracle, even if I'm not sure how often she's actually going to trigger that Miracle, because it is a 5 cooldown special, no Slaying, and no acceleration in her base kit either. And in the C slot, attack speed Rain Snap. We've seen a Rain Snap skill before, I think, on... was it Sayri? I think? Maybe, I don't recall, but since it's been so long, let's remind ourselves what it does. It inflicts attack speed -4 on foes within 2 spaces of unit during combat. Okay, the start of turn, if units within 2 spaces of an armored ally or an infantry ally with range equal to 1, grants a unit can move 1 extra space to unit infantry allies with range equal to 1 and armored allies within 2 spaces of unit. That is, well, first things first, that is our 3rd bonus effect right there. That's up to 3 out of 3 for the weapon, that's out of 3 out of 3 for max stats on Prime. We're just missing 1 bonus to get the distant counter, but again, I really think this is a player phase unit, not an enemy phase unit, because you're relying on basically just Gambit to keep you alive, unless, again, you've managed to actually pre-charge your Miracle, and even then I'm not really sure how far you're getting, considering that you're mostly building attack and speed, right? There's only +5 defensive stats in this entire kit, well, except for the Rain Snap, obviously. But with extra movement, not follow-up, Hexblade, whole bunch of attack and speed, DR Shred, whole bunch more attack and speed, this is looking like a very much just go in, hit hard unit, and then Gambit, although it is providing you a lot of damage reduction, I think the purpose of that damage reduction is just to let you live 1 attack so you can make your very powerful follow-up attack and then Canto 2 back out. Well, that's my opinion of the unit so far at least, but let's see if their Harmonic skill changes any of that. First things first though, animations. Hits them with the bag of cash. Yeah, why not? Harmonized skill. Grants Resonance Blades and Resonance Shields and restores 99 hit points to unit and allies from the same titles as unit. Grants special cooldown count -5 to unit. Okay, so yeah, it looks like the reason they've given her Miracle is because this is how they want you to set up. So maybe not an A for Raids unit then, but could potentially be an absolute menace in, for instance, Summoner's Duels, where you can actually use Harmonized skills without having to take out half of the entire enemy team first. Yeah, full resonance effects, full heal, so you can potentially take combat on player phase and then recover this way ready for your enemy phase combat. The fact it's giving you the resonance effects is bringing the distant counter online from the Prime as well, and then you're in a position where you can miracle through an enemy's attack, even if they've got a pre-charge special or something, and then hopefully hit them back for big damage and just trade 2 for 1 that way. Interesting indeed. So I know there's a lot of Anna enjoyers out there. This seems like a unit with a pretty defined niche, but still a decently strong unit. Not an overwhelming unit, not able to raid boss, still pretty snipeable in many ways, but just strong mobility and strong on the offensive side, and if you can set her up, should be able to live 1 combat, trade 2 for 1. Let's see rest of this then. They're going to hit the button.
Welcome. Need help?
And the noises, yep, they're doing their shopkeeper thing. Heal everyone up. And blammo.
Ready for your shift?
For big damage. 73 times 2 is not to be scoffed at. Paralog. Who is our 4-star unit going to be? Who is that? I'm going to have to check the Twitter post. Give me a second. Of course I don't know who it is. It's freaking Kellam. Brilliant. Brilliant. Love it. That's... Sure, why not? But all in all, I think this is a banner with 4 very strong units on it. We've got a new GODLANCE in the form of Timerra. We've got a very powerful support. I mean, people still use Flayn as support, right? This is Flayn, but better. The Flayn is. We've got Seadall, who is just a strong source of inheritables and a decent build option in his own right, thanks to being a dancer. And we have the Harmonic Anna, who, weirdly enough, I think might be the weakest pick on this entire banner for Aether raids, but looks like she's going to have a lot of utility in other modes. Like, I was looking at a miracle build there. If you swapped out some skills, you could also do a very powerful Gale Force build on her with that Harmonic skill, just being able to flat completely pre-charge Gale Force before going into any combat. But that's that. I'm probably going to hold off on this banner because as strong as all of these units are, I don't need them. I don't need them, and thus I'm going to hold out for a unit that I need. And also, I get the feeling they're going to drop Thracia on us soon because it's been ages since the last Thracia. My senses are tingling. It's gonna happen. But let me know if you're pulling for any of these units. Let me know what you think of the banner, and I will see you all next time. Penrost out.